Hi, everybody. Welcome to the $1 billion sexual wellness opportunity, or better known and less informally as selling sex toys on Amazon. This is going to be exciting because money and sex always are. If you're selling on Amazon.com and are thinking about selling sex products, pay attention. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to share with you something I've been working on for almost a year. There's a huge amounts of money to be made in the sexual wellness category on Amazon. Now, don't shield your eyes and quiver with fear. Do not back away and think this is some sort of not for you. It's just sex, and I'm not selling anything. I just wanted to share the opportunity with you. And there's an incredible opportunity for you to share in this $1 billion opportunity on Amazon. America's in the midst of the fourth sexual revolution. This one pushing the revolution from the 1840s and the 1920s and even further than what happened in the 1960s. It has matured over the last 10 years, even in that short period of time. A century ago, women wore ankle-length dresses with corsets. Masturbation was described as horrible. Intercourse was for only procreation. And birth control was prohibited, and abortion was actually a crime. Interracial sex and hanging was a hanging offense, and premarital sex was absolutely forbidden. Pornography was an obscenity, and homosexuality was the sin. Today, these practices and many others constitute sexually acceptable behavior. Today's sexual revolution is based on two premises. First, sex is morally acceptable, but only if it's with consensual and age-appropriate people. Second, consensual sex practices are acceptable as long as they don't harm either party. So we become much more liberal, and certainly even in the last decade. Here's something interesting. Hamilton Beach patented the first electric vibrator in 1902, a full decade before it even introduced the electric iron and a vacuum cleaner. And it was said to help women cure mental illness. Trojan's been selling condoms in drugstores for more than 8 decades. They even introduced vibrators in 2010, and you can see them at Walmart and Walgreens on the shelves. Although they are discreetly packaged and such, they are there and they are selling them. Remember when you saw your first condom commercial? It's kind of shocking that they were actually advertising condoms on TV. Woo! Now we say whatever we want, and we actually show people in bed almost having sex. Pretty much softcore pornography sometimes. The sex paraphernalia business and marketplace is huge, and it's getting bigger every single year. It includes fetish objects and sex toys and lubricants and potions and costumes that enhance sexual fantasy. The industry has continued to gain more mainstream acceptance and availability through the world's biggest retailers. And they've turned this business front and center as a major part for their retail operations. Now, as it stands right now, it's a $15 billion market segment with projections that it will surpass $50 billion by 2020. That's 4 years. So we're talking about that market tripling in the next 4 years. That's why this is such an incredible bonanza of $1 billion that you should be involved in. Some of you may have been invited to the passion parties. They're women-only get-togethers where sex paraphernalia, including toys and lubricants, and the things that are sold online are offered in these Tupperware-type parties. Business Week reported that Pure Romance has 75,000 consultants and may hit $120 million in sales. That's incredible. Remember, when the rabbit became the buzz among all of the hip young women because of Sex in the City, one of the show's characters, remember Charlotte, she got hooked on the vibrator. But what this did was it helped legitimize sex toys and female masturbation, again, bringing sex into the mainstream. Doc Johnson, which is based in Hollywood, is one of the leading sex product suppliers. They're like the Procter & Gamble of sex toys. It claims each month that the company pours 125 tons of rubber manufacturing. Are you ready for this? Every month, they're creating 330,000 dildos, vibrators, and synthetic buttocks. Now, we're not going to talk about what those are for or what lonely people are buying them. But it's estimated that the country generates $100 million in sales through brick and mortar stores and their online retailers like Hustler Hollywood, Adam and Eve, and most importantly, Amazon. Amazon's multi-million dollar niche, actually not multi-million dollar, Amazon's multi-billion dollar niche, sexual wellness. Amazon.com is selling a lot, and I mean a lot of sex toys. More than you knew would ever dare to sell, and more than you ever knew were being manufactured in the world today, and more advanced, varied selection than you probably imagined they could ever actually even get away with. And what's more, Amazon has added this array of delicious adult goods quietly, effortlessly, with zero fanfare and zero marketing, and apparently no intolerant outcry. This has been going on for, I think, almost 10 years, 11 years. I think in 2005 is when they first started this. Have you seen it? Do you know about it? Let's look closer, because it's not a small section. This is no trifling thing. Amazon's sex toy department is simply a huge portion of the site's health and personal care area. The sex and sensuality section of the site contains a staggering 60,000 items with sexual enhancers. This is no cheapy side venture for Amazon. Amazon's not trying to score a few bucks secretly selling a few glorious Hitachi magic wands, or those overrated but still cute pink rabbit pearl vibes, and some lubes or some tubes of KY jelly or Trojan condoms, or a handful of cheaply made plastic Chinese toy vibrators. Amazon's not held back. Amazon is committed completely to this cause because they're making tons of money. This is America's favorite online bookstore, all growing up, happy, kinky, and winking in your general direction. Amazon doesn't actually sell most of these items, as they don't sell most of their products. They're not theirs, meaning they're just the supplier and the warehouser of these products. Matter of fact, this category, and listen to this, is almost exclusively filled with third-party sellers. This is why you should look into this opportunity seriously. Amazon is by far the biggest sex toy store in the world, and they're willing to let you sell your products on their platform. And for much more of America, those there that are too timid and too uncertain to shop for these products in stores, brick and mortar stores, because they're embarrassed or whatever it might be, old stigmas have come in. They don't want their neighbor to see them in there buying sex toys. Amazon has done a perfectly natural thing of merely folding the toys into their array of general offerings as if it was just nothing and not unusual. Now it's easy to add Amazon shopping carts, few things to go along with the latest novel, and the digital camera, and an iPod sleeve, and a beach umbrella, and a camping stove, and some sex lube, and $80 purple vibrator. See, there's nothing to it. It makes it easy for people. They're sitting in their beds at night, and they're looking at their husband, and she's not telling him, or he's not telling her, and he's ordering some goodies for them. It's as if these items were just actually perfectly commonplace and acceptable, and everyone should have them. Imagine, here's the deal. It's the most glorious upside of this. Sex toys, like much of the porn business in general, have gone mainstream. They may have been normalized, but there still is no guilt. There's no more fear, uptight sexual dread, and nonsensical ignorant cries of who will save the children. There's only one titillation and tingling skin and the big wide grins of satisfied customers. There's a huge phenomenon happening right before your eyes, and Amazon is leading the way. Spend some time looking into this category. Now, sexual wellness does have and present many obstacles that are not a part of other categories to sell on Amazon. There are marketing limitations. You can't use pay-per-click advertising. They're very restrictive on your images. So there are things that make this category more difficult. You also must be ungated, and the process is a little more involved in some other categories. It can be done. There are services out there that can help you get it done. So what I'm going to do is, if you'll look down below, there's a link, and I'm going to give you a link to a simple PDF that I created that outlines Amazon rules and regulations, and then it also has a section on some of the ways in which you can ungate it and the process of that. Now, it is difficult, and you have to have some very specific things about being ungated there. You have to have been a seller for 90 days, and so your rating. So there are several things in there that will make this a more difficult obstacle to overcome. But it's $1 billion, and it's going to go from 15 billion to $20 billion in the next 4 years. You need to be a part of this. You need to be looking into this opportunity and adding this to your portfolio of things that you might possibly sell. Or if you're just getting started, you're probably going to have to start with another product because they want you to have sold some stuff. Now, you don't have to sell tons of it, but if you're getting into this business, you need to look at this category and get yourself ungated and find some products and actually get them selling on Amazon, because the opportunity is amazing and you can make a lot of money. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I hope this will help some of you guys out there. I hope it will inspire some of you guys to get involved in this category and grow your Amazon business. Thanks for watching.